You know that feeling. You glance at your iPhone, maybe swipe down the control center, and bam, unknown microphone. Just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that little orange dot is glowing up top too. And your first thought is probably, uh-oh, who's listening?
Yeah, that immediate jump to who's listening, it's totally understandable. Our phones do so much, but sometimes they do things we don't expect, and that can feel, well, a bit creepy.
Totally. So that's exactly what we're digging into today. This specific unknown microphone notification some people are seeing on their iPhones, we're talking as of May 12th, 2025.
Right, and we want to get past the scary possibilities and look at what's actually likely going on.
Exactly. Why does it happen? And more importantly, what can you, the listener, actually do about it?
Okay, so first, just quick basics. Control center, that's the thing you swipe down from the top right usually, or
Yeah.
swipe up if you have an older iPhone with a home button.
Right.
Quick access stuff. And the orange dot that came in with iOS 14, Apple put it there, so you have a clear sign whenever any app is using your microphone. Or a green dot for the camera.
Good privacy feature. So our mission here is pretty simple. Explain this unknown microphone thing, give you some concrete steps, and hopefully dial down any anxiety about it.
Sounds good. So, unknown microphone. What does it actually mean? Well, it's pretty literal. Your iPhone knows the microphone is active. That's why you see the orange dot. But for some reason, it can't pinpoint which specific app or system process is using it right at that second.
So the phone itself is a bit confused.
In a way, yeah. It knows something's using the mic, but the label, the specific app game, isn't showing up like it usually should when you check the control center. And that lack of clarity is what feels weird.
Definitely. It's like hearing a noise in your house but not knowing where it came from.
So let's talk about the likely culprits. What usually causes this?
Okay. Probably the most common one is background apps. You know, apps like Instagram, YouTube, maybe others that have rummus features. Yeah, like voice search or adding audio to a story or something.
Exactly. Sometimes those apps might ping the microphone for a second, maybe checking for a voice command or just part of their background process, even
No.
if you're not actively using that feature or even have the app open on screen.
Okay. So I might have used voice search an hour ago, closed the app, but it's still kind of lurking in the background.
It could be something like that, yeah. Or just how the app is coded to handle audio sessions. It's not always obvious to the user that this background check is happening.
Right. We all have so many apps. It's hard to keep track of what they're all doing behind the scenes. Okay, so background apps is one possibility. What else?
Another big one is Bluetooth devices. Think about your wireless earbuds, headphones, maybe even your car system or a Bluetooth speaker. Lots of those have microphones built in.
Oh, yeah, for calls or voice assistants.
Right. So if you have a Bluetooth device connected and its microphone becomes active for some reason, maybe it's trying to listen for a wake word or just connecting your iPhone might register that microphone activity. But since it's the external device, not an app on the phone itself, it might just show up as unknown microphone.
Huh. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I basically live with my earbuds, and I forget they even have mics sometimes. Okay, so apps, Bluetooth stuff. Could it just be the phone itself being glitchy?
Absolutely. That's definitely a possibility. Software isn't perfect, right?
Okay.
iOS, like any operating system, can have temporary bugs or little glitches.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that might cause it to misreport microphone usage. So the unknown microphone message pops up, but nothing is actually using the mic. It's just a reporting error, a temporary hiccup.
A digital brain fart, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like
A temporary misfire in how it's tracking things.
Okay. But we have to talk about the big fear, the sort of elephant in the room. Could this mean someone's actually, spying,
Yeah.
listening in through malware?
It's the number one worry people have, and it's important we address it head on. Generally speaking, for iPhones, especially if you're sticking to the official app store for your apps and you haven't jailbroken your phone,
Which most people haven't.
right, the risk of malware secretly activating your microphone like that is considered pretty low. Apple has a lot of security layers, and that App Store review process, while not infallible, catches a lot of malicious stuff.
Okay, that's somewhat comforting. But, I've seen posts about this online. People on Reddit, Apple forums. You mentioned that recent X post from early May. This isn't brand new, right? It seems to keep happening.
You're right, it's not new. It pops up periodically. And the fact that we see these reports spanning years suggests that while serious hidden malware is unlikely the usual cause for most users, the notification itself can definitely be triggered by those other things we talked about.
Like the background apps, the Bluetooth connections, those software glitches.
Exactly. It shows how tricky it can be for the OS to perfectly track and label every single instance of hardware use, especially with background tasks and external devices involved. So the notification pops up due to these more mundane reasons rather than, you know,
A shadowy figure in a hoodie listening to my podcast choices.
probably not.
Okay, good. So while maybe not spyware, it's still annoying and a bit unsettling.
Yeah.
What can people actually do to try and stop seeing it?
Okay. Good news is there are definitely practical steps you can take. And the first place to look is usually app permissions. Which apps have you allowed to use your microphone?
Right. Got to check the guest list. Where do we find that?
Okay, so grab your iPhone, go into the Settings app,
Sure.
then scroll down a bit until you see Privacy and Security. Tap that.
Okay, privacy and security.
And then in there, you'll see Microphone. Tap on Microphone.
Got it.
Now you'll see a list. This is every app that has asked for permission to use your microphone. And there'll be a little toggle switch next to each one, green if it's on, gray if it's off.
Oh, okay. This is where we do the digital audit.
Exactly. Go down that list. Think about each app. Does that photo editing app really need microphone access? Does that game you haven't played in 6 months need it? If an app doesn't logically need the microphone for its core function, or you just don't use that feature,
Flip the switch off.
just toggle it off. You can always turn it back on later if you find you actually need it for something specific.
Makes sense. Clean house a bit.
Yeah.
Is there a way to test if one of these apps is the culprit?
Yeah, there's a good troubleshooting method. You could try turning off the microphone toggle for all the third-party apps in that list. Just switch them all off temporarily.
Okay, everything off.
Then go check your control center. See if unknown microphone is gone. If it is gone, then you know it was likely one of those apps.
Process of elimination.
Exactly. Then you can go back to the microphone settings and turn the permissions back on, one app at a time. After each one, wait a bit, check the control center again. If the unknown message suddenly reappears after you enable a specific app,
Bingo. Found it.
you've likely found your culprit.
That's a clever way to track it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so checking permissions is step one. What if that doesn't fix it, or it wasn't an app?
The next thing is the classic tech support move, a forced restart, sometimes called a hard reset.
The old turn it off and on again.
Pretty much, but the forced restart is a bit more thorough than just powering down normally. It can clear out temporary system memory and resolve some of those software glitches we mentioned that might be causing misreporting.
Okay, how do we do that? It's different depending on the iPhone model, isn't it?
It is. So for iPhones with Face ID, the ones without the round home button, you do this quick sequence. Press and quickly release the volume button, then press and quickly release the volume down button, then press and hold the side button, the power button on the right.
Keep holding the side button.
Keep holding it even when the power off slider appears. Don't slide it. Just keep holding until you see the Apple logo. Then you can let go.
Gotcha. Volume up, volume down, hold side button till the Apple logo. What about older iPhones with the home button?
For those, it's usually simpler. You just press and hold both the home button and the power button, which might be on the side or the top, depending on the model, at the same time. Keep holding both until the Apple logo appears.
Okay. Good old button combo. Hopefully that shakes out any temporary bugs.
Yeah.
What else could be keeping that mic indicator on?
Well, another thing to check is Siri.
Siri.
Yeah, sometimes, even if you're not actively saying, hey, Siri, some of the background processes related to Siri listening or being ready can potentially keep the microphone in a low-power active state, which might trigger that unknown notification.
Huh. Okay. How do we tell Siri to chill out for a bit?
You can adjust Siri's settings. Go back to the main settings app, then find Siri and search.
Settings, Siri, and search. Okay.
In there, look for options like listen for Hey Siri, press side button for Siri, or allow Siri when locked. Try turning those off, especially the listen for Hey Siri one. See if that makes the unknown microphone message go away.
Worth a shot. Limits how often Siri might be, well, listening.
Exactly. Okay, next up, let's double check that Bluetooth connection again.
Right, those sneaky earbuds.
Or speakers, or whatever else you've got connected. Go to Settings, then Bluetooth.
Settings, Bluetooth, yep.
Look at the list under My Devices, see what's currently connected. If you have headphones or speakers connected that you aren't actively using right now, try disconnecting them. Just tap the little icon next to the device name and choose Disconnect.
Okay, disconnect the ones I'm not using.
Yeah, disconnect any non-essential ones temporarily. Then check your control center again. Did the unknown microphone message disappear? It helps isolate if the microphone activity was actually coming from that external Bluetooth device.
Good thinking. Isolating variables. What about iOS updates? Does keeping the phone updated help?
Oh, absolutely. That's always a good practice anyway for security and features, but yes, Apple often releases bug fixes in iOS updates. So it's entirely possible that an update could fix a glitch that was causing this unknown microphone issue.
So always worth checking if there's an update waiting. How do we do that?
Easy. Settings, then general, then software update.
Settings general software update.
Your phone will check with Apple's servers. If there's an update available, it'll prompt you to download and install it. It's usually a good idea to do that, especially if you're troubleshooting weird issues.
Okay, update the phone. Good advice. So we've got checking permissions, doing a hard reset, disabling Siri features, checking Bluetooth, updating iOS. That's a pretty solid list. What if someone tries all that and they're still seeing it?
Yeah, that can happen. If it's still persisting after you've tried these common fixes, the next step is to try and play detective a little. Start paying close attention to when exactly you see the message.
Look for patterns.
Exactly. Does it only happen right after you open a particular app? Or maybe only when you connect your car's Bluetooth? Or maybe it's totally random. Just observing when it occurs can give you, or Apple support if you contact them, really valuable clues.
Makes sense. Gather intel. And if I'm still seeing it, and frankly, still a bit worried.
If you've gone through all this, maybe noticed a pattern or maybe not, and you're still seeing the message and it's causing concern, then the best thing to do is contact Apple support directly.
Don't just ignore it if it bothers you.
Right. They have access to more diagnostic tools and might be aware of specific issues or bugs affecting certain configurations. They're the next level of troubleshooting.
Okay. Now, someone wrote in specifically mentioning they saw the wallet app showing up in their screen time usage, and they were worried it might be linked to this microphone thing. What about that?
Ah, yeah, that's a specific concern. Okay, so seeing the wallet app in screen time doesn't automatically mean it's using the microphone. Especially if, and this is key, you haven't actually set up Apple Pay or added any cards or passes to it.
So if wallet is basically empty,
If it's empty, it's really unlikely to be doing anything microphone related. It might get triggered in the background by the system for various minor checks, or maybe it was accidentally opened. Seeing it in screen time usage in that context probably isn't something to worry about regarding the microphone.
okay, that's reassuring. So probably not related to the unknown microphone mystery.
Highly unlikely in that scenario, yeah. If they are curious about when Wallet was used, they can dig deeper in setting screen time app and website usage time, but it's probably a separate thing.
Good to clarify.
Yep.
And just to circle back on the security aspect one more time.
Yeah, it's worth reiterating. As of now, May 2025, the structure of iOS and the App Store review process still makes widespread, sneaky malware that hijacks your microphone relatively rare for the average user.
So these privacy features, like the orange dot, are generally working for us to let us know what's going on.
Exactly. They are indicators designed to increase transparency. That unknown label is annoying when it happens, but the dot itself is telling you the system detected mic use. The issue is usually in the labeling, not necessarily in something sinister happening undetected.
But still, basic caution applies, right? Like downloading random stuff.
Oh, definitely. Always be cautious about installing apps from outside the App Store if you even can, depending on your settings. And if you ever find an app on your phone that you don't recognize or seems suspicious,
Delete it.
just delete it. That's always a smart move.
Okay, so wrapping this up. That unknown microphone notification, usually it's a background app, maybe a Bluetooth device acting up, or just a temporary software glitch. Not usually a sign of doom.
Right. And the steps we walked through, checking app permissions, doing a forced restart, managing Siri, checking Bluetooth, updating iOS, those are your main tools to tackle it based on what we know right now.
Following those steps should, hopefully, resolve it for most people and bring some peace of mind.
It should definitely help clarify what's going on and give you more control.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. This whole unknown microphone thing, maybe it's a good reminder. How often do you actually go into your settings and look at which apps you've given permission to use your microphone or your camera or
Yeah.
your location?
That's a good point. We often grant permission when we first install an app and then maybe forget about it.
Right. So maybe take 5 minutes sometime this week, go through those permissionless microphone, camera, location. Do all those apps still need that access? It's a simple step, but it's a really powerful way to stay on top of your own digital privacy. Just something to think about.